Alright guys, so a couple days ago I did a video of a crossover between Randy Cunningham, Ninth Grade Ninja, and the Shadow. And I talked about how if it did well enough, I would do like a sequel. I would do like, yeah, a sequel to it. Because I did kind of leave it off on a sequel. So here we are again with Randy Cunningham, The Shadow 2. So this story takes place 6 months after their first meeting, and Randy is still kind of like, yeah, I still don't like the Shadow. Like, fuck that guy. He is, you know, and he's talking to Howard too. Like, yeah, I encountered the Shadow. We fought, and Howard's like, did you win? I won the moral high ground, so you lost. I didn't lose. Okay, I just couldn't beat him. So, and Howard goes, that's lose. That's the definition of losing, right there. That is the straight-up definition of losing. But basically, like, Randy is still like, I am not, like, I don't care what my grandfather set me up for. I am never going to be like the Shadow's ward. And Howard's like, I mean, it would be pretty cool. You could use some, pointers how to be how to be a better hero. And he's like, Howard, literally, I have a book to teach me how to be a better hero. And did I not save the world from Evil Julian and the Sorcerer in 2 and 1? Like, I think I did. I think I'm doing pretty good. And he's like, debatable. McFist is still out there, And he's like, well, I'm not. That's because I'm not killing McFist. He isn't like I'm not a killer like the Shadow. I'm not using guns. So, yeah. So Randy is still like, yeah, I'm still against this. I'm still in no way, shape, or form supporting the Shadow or anything he wants me to do. So that's where he is. Like, that's where he is emotionally, where he's like, yeah, I don't want anything to do with that monster. He's a monster in my book. So one night, while Randy is out, like, on a nightly patrol, he's feeling restless, and he's like, you know what, I will go on a patrol, on just, like, a patrol. Superheroes do that, right? Like, yeah, nothing wrong with, like, a little patrolling. I could do that. I could totally do that. So Randy goes out one night, and he's just like, on patrol again? I just can't wait to get on patrol again. I'll never do that again. So, on his little patrol, he encounters, like, he passes by a McFist vehicle, but it's not being manned by robo-apes. It's apparently a group of people, and they look armed. And Randy goes in and is like, well, I don't normally deal with people, but this doesn't feel right. So he goes down there and he's like, hey guys, what's your plan here? So they immediately attack him. It's like, it's the ninja, kill him. And they're like, kill it. And then he's like, well, thank you for making this easier on me for fighting you guys and taking you to jail. So he's in the middle of fighting them, and that's when he realizes these guys are really good. Like, these guys are really skilled, and he is actually having because he's never really fought another human. Like, he's not used to fighting other humans. He's usually used to fighting robots and monsters with usually erratic, fighting style. He's not used to fighting another person in a head-to-head fight. And then he starts hearing laughing, and he's like, oh, fuck no. And that even the people they're fighting is like, it's him, it's him. And he's like, yeah, I don't. And Randy even calls out, I don't want you here. I had it under control. And the Shadow comes out, just guns blazing, just gunning down these people. And he's like, clearly. And Randy immediately is like, you fucking asshole. This is why I don't want to be around you. You murdered those people. And he's like, I did you a favor, boy. Like, I just saved your life. And he's like, no, you didn't, dude. You didn't save shit. And the Shadow is like, did I? Did I not save you? So what it turns out is that that the person the people that the Shadow had saved Randy from were actually servants of Siwan Khan, the Shadow's arch nemesis. And he's like, I had been tracking Khan's movements through here. And he's like, so that's why you were here the first time? He's like, no, the first time I came to get you. The second time coming here to Norrisville was purely by happenstance. But my offer still, you coming with me is going to be the end game here. And he's like, yeah, I doubt that. But And he's like, so you're gonna leave, or we're gonna fight again, and you're gonna go to jail this time, Cranston. And Cranston looks at him and goes, boy, you couldn't beat me a second time, and you didn't even beat me the first time. And Randy's like, yeah, I bet I could beat you in another fight. The Shadow goes, we do not have time for it. Before they even like try to throw a punch at each other, we don't have time for we don't have time for this. Siwan Khan is in Norrisville. I want to know why. You want to know why. You don't know you don't know what Siwan Khan, what Khan is capable of. I do, so I am your best bet of dealing with this. So are we gonna fight, or are we gonna work together on this? And he's like, we stop Khan, and Randy's like, yeah, we stop Khan, then you leave. That's it. I want you gone out of my city. And the Shadow's like, okay. So Randy and him investigate like what those people were looking through, like what they were putting in the truck. And it turns out that it's a bunch of like old artifacts that had been gathered throughout the city, like all these museums and little trinkets here and there. And Randy's like, this doesn't make any sense. And the Shadow's like, Khan has always had a propensity for for global control, and he's had a bit of a love for the mystic arts. Maybe one of these has to be the reason why he's he doesn't do anything randomly. It's either for power or for money. Sometimes for world power and sometimes for money. So it's either one or the other. We have to be sure what we're dealing with here. So the Shadow and Randy look through it all, and Randy notices that's the symbol of the ninja on one of the artifacts, and he's like, so he's here for so Khan is after something with the ninja clan. And he's like, well, I don't know anything about that. And he's like, of course you don't. Maybe your book does. And Randy's like, how do you know the book? And he's like, the Shadow knows. Of course it fucking does. So the Shadow is like, look, let's go into the book. I know your book has some mystical properties that allows you to travel into it. Let's go into it. And he's like, nope, we're not doing that. I'm going. Let me correct you. I'm going into the book. You're staying out here. And Shadow's like, nah. And he's like, yeah, I doubt you're going to find your way in. So Randy schloops into the Namacon, and the Shadow is in there with him. And he's like, how did you do that? And he's like, I learned from the monks how to do, mystical, vast mental abilities. So I can just transfer my consciousness into this place through sheer force of will. And of course the Namacon is not happy that, he's here, and also it's a murderer that's here. But Randy's like, look, Namacon, we don't have time for this. We need to figure out what Siwan Khan is after. And they show him the artifact, and the Namacon explains, eons ago the Nosu clan did battle with Siwan Khan's ancestors. There was a war between Khan and the Nosu clan, the clan of Khan, and the two went to war. However, it was a war over an artifact that would gain access to what is called Shangri-La, which is one of the names for the hidden valley that the Shadow trained with the monks. And he's like, that's what they went to war over, and now the Shadow's like, oh shit, if he gets in there, he is going to gain all of that power and unleash untold power onto the world. So we need to figure out where and basically what it is that the relic is more like a key. So they have to keep the relic safe. So when Randy and the Shadow go back to their original bodies, they are immediately beset upon, by this time, robo-apes. And the Shadow goes, do you have a problem with me killing these? And he's like, nope, fire away! So the two team up and fight their way through robo-apes while trying to keep the key safe. However, this is when Siwan Khan shows up, and Siwan Khan just basically goes, Shadow, happy to see you, of course you would follow me here. It would be too easy not to try to leave you, leave you behind. And he's like, and Shadow is like, yeah, not not easy, right? So you're gonna die, and you're gonna leave the boy alone to me. And Randy's like, do I get a say in this? Nope. So they all fight, and Khan and Randy get into a fight, and Khan outclasses Randy to the nth degree. And it turns out that McFist is indeed working with Khan in order to gain access to Shangri-La. Again, one of the names, they go by multiple names for it. And Siwan defeats Randy and gets the key, so he, McFist, and Viceroy get to go to Shangri-La. So, yeah. So Randy's feeling pretty bad, and now he's like, I don't know what to do. They are going to kill everyone I know. So Shadow is like, we can go after them, but first you're gonna have to come with me. And if we do this, then you belong to me. Then then you belong to the Shadow. And Randy's like, okay, let's do this. And that's where we're gonna leave off, because I want to make this a trilogy. So you guys tell me in the comments below, what did you guys think of this second part of this Randy Cunningham Shadow trilogy? Did you guys like it, hate it? Comment below, let me know. Once again, hope you all enjoyed this. If this does well, I will finish the trilogy. But other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.